Smell of flesh and burning pain. So I sing out to the masses. Stand up if you're still sane. All of us gone crazy. Sing this one refrain. We can chase down all our enemies. Bring them to their knees. We can bomb the world to pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace. Oh, we may even find a solution to hunger and disease. We can bomb the world to pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace. I say, power to the peaceful, love to the peaceful, y'all. I say, power to the peaceful, love to the peaceful, y'all. We may even find a solution to hunger and disease. Can bomb the world to pieces, but we can't bomb it into peace. Said we can chase down all our enemies. We can even bring them to their knees.
Just kind of makes me wonder, special counsel and all. To me, it's a walking Fourth Amendment violation. And I guess we'll redig this planner out. It's kind of leaning over, not kind of, it's leaning over. The guy stacked the bricks on top of each other. I told him, don't do it like that. He didn't want to cut one in half or four of them in half. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you cut every other one in half at the beginning. Or start it different. Then you don't have to stack them. Alright, whatever. So I tried to tell him don't do it. It's falling over several times. Same with this one up here. They just, and then you need to lean them back a little bit. So I pretty much kind of did the steps about. There's the bottom of the tree fort. I'm a pole fort, but amidst the trees. Bay window, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of cool. Maybe I'll show you later. Look on my Facebook page or my Instagram. It's up there. I wonder if I can turn this camera around. Well, the special counsel thing, I've been going over it all morning. There's news come out that they done that the Supreme Court judge is in charge of the FISA court. And I'm like, look, I've been saying for months, well, from the gate I said it's illegal. And my friend goes, you know, kind of lawyery kind of dude, thinks himself like that. He shuffles papers and stuff. And he's pretty good on the law. He's going, I go, they should shut it down right out the gate. Shouldn't have started. And he goes, well, no, they got to follow due process. Well, that's what I mean. They're not following due process. Yada, yada, yada. They're violating the Fourth Amendment. Yeah. People think Democrat, Republican, they shouldn't get lost on that shit. You should think, why is the government illegally spying on a candidate for president? So, if they had occasion, they should take it to the judge first and say, we think there's criminal activity. And then you get a search warrant for that specific persons in specific places, you know, to put a wiretap or whatever. And then, I mean, there's legal due process. So then they didn't follow that. And then when it comes time to appoint a special counsel, the Attorney General is supposed to do the investigation. Then Attorney General are supposed to be in charge of it. Then Attorney General is supposed to take it to a 3-judge panel and see if there's any criminal evidence enough to support a grand jury or special counsel. And, you know, they're almost ready to go to grand jury status. Someone mentioned that. That's probably what they should do. But it should be all be dismissed. And they wouldn't be going if it wasn't for the Speaker of the House and the leader of the Senate prosecuting their own president. First time in American history. This is way out presidents. I brought that up to him too. That's a big point. A lot of people don't get that. The Republicans are trying to remove the Republican president. And they use the Democrats as whatever, you know, shields. And the bureaucracy is runaway bureaucracy. They're trying to remove the president. But the point I was trying to get to today, there goes the water. There's the waterfall. I put this together too. Let me take a better look. The path I kind of dug out, it needs to be redone. And I wish you had a bigger toe brick on it, but alright. So I come and clean it up too. What you need, what you need. I'll trick it. And there's that water coming out of the rock. There's a cat scat. There's stairs up to the kind of the ladder, stairs up to the fort. So anyway, back to this. Oh man, I really need to clean it out. Back to the special counsel. Take a little creek. I did all this in the koi pond, in the little thing. I did the stairs over here too. Little arch stairs. And there's the tree fort, bay window, double story. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So the special counsel. Well, my thing is it should be shut down. It shouldn't have been allowed to go. And the FISA court should have asked, hey, you know, you guys, the FBI and National Security Group, you brought false information. So if you're the FISA court judge, why wouldn't you call the boys back and say, hey, how come you brought false information before this court? And I've been telling my friend that basically since the whole time. You know, after just been into it a bit. So then I mentioned, yeah, he goes, due process. I go, well, they're not, that's the whole point. It's a Fourth Amendment violation from the start. And there's the other key point. They want no Fourth Amendment for the American people, let alone the American people's appointed president. Then we find out Friday or so that the Judge Roberts of the Supreme Court's in charge of the FISA court. He oversees it. So the idea that the Democrats are pushing this FISA court or this special counsel's bullshit. The Republican Congress just months back, before a lot of the information started to drop, they just rushed through the FISA court renewal. And it seemed the president signed it for what? I can't figure why he would do that. And why did he fire most of these folks in the first place. And then I'm wondering why they don't call for the fire pit over there. Alright. Gas one, real nice one, real. Anyway, so why don't they call for the why don't the FISA court call for the FBI people to come back up and, you know, scold them? You brought a fake course up and you didn't follow the Fourth Amendment. You brought a fake case before my court. You'd think the judge would be pissed at this. You know, no. Well, then we find out Friday that the Supreme Court oversees the FISA court. And then you think, well, why didn't Judge Roberts, supposed to be a constitutionalist appointed by the Republicans, why is Judge Roberts letting this go on? Obvious violation of several violations of the Fourth Amendment and a huge conflict of interest with the Rosenstein acting like a superior. I mean, why you got the second in charge doing it? And Mueller's acting like he's, rule all, and he's not a superior, but a junior. He don't got all this kind of power. And why the Supreme Court lets it go unchecked? So the idea that Democrats are pushing all this is bullshit. It's all kabuki theater, and the Democrats and the Republicans are into it up to their eyebrows, trying to remove a president, just like they're trying to give you appointed presidents, just like the theft of the Bernie Sanders vote. These folks should be under criminal charges. I don't care if it's a primary. I told my friend that too, and he goes, well, that's the Democrat Party, and, they're their own corporation, whatever. I don't give a shit. It's an American election, and you can't defraud the American people like that in an election, and they steal their vote. People put a lot of money and time to push for Bernie Sanders, and then he gets ripped off. Well, and then a part of it, whatever. That's the election process. They can't defraud the election process. Now here you got the Republicans pushing the removal of Trump. And they're basically, the point is they're trying to give you appointed leadership, basically a monarch or dictatorship, and they're trying to get rid of the Fourth Amendment. And a lot of people just don't get how, there's a better view of the tree fort. Anyway, a lot of people just don't get how deep and diabolical it is. Why doesn't the Supreme Court judge call for these investigators to come up